Hello everyone, I am Prasad from the Structure Guide. Today we are going to discuss about type of beams. Please subscribe our YouTube channel. You may get the notification on new videos. There are different classification methods for the beam based on the construction material, based on the boundary condition, type of supports, other special types. So those are the things we are going to discuss about beam types. Classification of beams based on the construction material. Concrete beams, steel beams, timber beams, composite beams. These are the things we are going to discuss today. Concrete is the most frequently used construction material in the world. I think everyone knows about the concrete. So the beams made of the concrete we call the concrete beams. There are different types like precast beams, post tension beams. Likewise, there are different types we'll discuss later. These beams made from the structural steel we call the structural steel beams like I beams. Timber beams. Timber beams basically used for the timber structures. Those are not used together with the steel structures or concrete structures. So timber cannot bear very high load. It's a lightweight material and also stiffness is very less compared to the other type of elements. So in timber structures mostly we use timber beams. Composite beams. These composite beams are most common in steel structures. These beams made from the composite action of the slab mostly. So when you put the steel decking, if you have a steel beam underneath, so stiffness of the steel beam can be increased by considering the stiffness of the steel decking slab. There are methods. We insert in shear dowels and we make it take the combined action. So those kind of beam can be considered as composite beams. In addition, in the retrofitting also we use these composite beams. Like now, if we have a concrete beam and it's have some sort of issues, we may fix plate, side plates or bottom plate. We fix the plate to increase the stiffness of the beam. In such a situations, those beams also can be considered as composite beams. So let's discuss other method of classification of beams. Type of supports. Simply supported beams. Now you can see here in this figure, you can see this is the simply supported end. Okay, this is the roller supported. Okay, either side we can have a same support, simply supported. That's called the simply support. This is also kind of simply supported beam. The pin support we can add here also. The roller allow the lateral movements also. Pin doesn't allow any movement, but that's allow the rotation. This is a simply supported beam. Then cantilever beam. Cantilever beams, we have a fixed end. No rotation at this end, only beam deflect like this. No rotation here. These kind of beams are called the cantilever beams. Continuous beams, these are the continuous beams. Here you can see the beam continue over the supports. These are the continuous beams. Overhang beams, as the name implies, we have overhangs there. So those beams are called the overhang. Fixed end beams. Fixed end beam means you have fixed supports either end of the beam. For example, very small beam like 225 by 225 beam is fixed to 1000 by 1000 columns. So this beam cannot force or make any impact on the column because column is very rigid element compared to the beam size and beam stiffness. So those kind of things also situations can also be considered as fixing. Then combination of supports. So that is we may have a different type of support. Here one end we have a fixed end. This here we have a roller. There may be pin here. So these kind of thing supporting condition may also be there. So fixed end here, pin support there or roller support there. That's a combination of support. Those are the classification of beams based on the supporting arrangement. Now let's see other type of beams. Precast beams. You can see in this figure here, this is a precast beam. That is the beam cast before construction the structure. You cast the beam outside and place the where you require. This is a simple beam, but based on the requirement, maybe if you need to support the slab, you may remove this kind of a segment there and you can place the slab there. That is there. You can place the slab like this. So these beams may modify as required during the construction. This is a simple beam. Then post tension and pre-stress beams. In this figure, you can see here a post tension beam. In post tension beams, you place the tendons according to your design requirement. Then you pour the concrete. Once concrete get hardened or it gets strength beyond the transfer level where we can we can do the stressing. So once it's reached that level, we can do the stressing. So that is the process of construction of post tension. In pre-stress beams, you do the tensioning of the tendons early. You do the tensioning, then you put the concrete, and then we release the ends. Then the relevant stresses will be developed in the beam. So the final item today we are going to discuss is tapered beam. As the name implies, the tapered beam means the its sections varies. So when it's like this, so when you need to improve the stiffness or when you need to have a appearance like this, we may use even in the steel structures we can see this. In the concrete structures also we can see these type of beams. So that's what we are going to discuss today about beams. So let's meet from another video on structural and construction experts. Thank you very much. I am Prasad from Structural Guide.